Walking the Wimbledon catwalk. Meet the world's best-dressed ball boys. How an American designer broke the fashion barrier and is sprucing up the legendary event's supporting staff in a sign of the times.
From the global resources of ABC News, with Terry Moran in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and Martin Bashir and Cynthia McFadden in Times Square, New York, this is Nightline, June 26, 2006.
Game, set and fashion. An American makeover for famously stuffy Wimbledon. It's a sign of the times. And when we come back, the American fashion designer takes a shot at Wimbledon. It's a sign of the times. It's that time of year again, time for Wimbledon, the storied tennis tournament in Britain, just as famous for the old world glamour as it is for the game itself. But this year something's changing. Those strange grass-coloured uniforms worn for decades by ball boys and umpires are getting an American makeover. ABC's Nick Watt has a sign of the times.
This is Centre Court at Wimbledon, arguably one of the most famous pieces of turf on earth. And it's also the epicentre of understated English elegance. The players wear all white, the spectators eat strawberries and cream. But this year there is a slight difference, which in the history of Wimbledon amounts to a revolution.
Without further ado, this is the new Wimbledon collection.
That was David Loren, son of Ralph, and this is what Wimbledon ball boys and girls, line judges and umpires are wearing this season.
This is probably the most exciting fashion show that we've ever had.
Ralph Lauren has signed a 5-year deal to clothe Wimbledon's bit part players. A Brit last won the men's singles back in 1936. Americans have won 26 titles since then, and now an American designer is telling the Brits how to dress. Well, it's not quite that simple. As Roger Federer strode onto the court today to begin the defence of his title.
Very good indeed to see the new outfits. The blue looks very smart with its white piping, all these blazers.
It could almost have been the 1930s, when the Brits still had a chance.
Ralph Lauren's style is based pretty much on
England.
And that's become East Coast country club style.
Yeah, but I mean it all really kind of starts, you know, right here in London and the Shires, you know, in the stately homes. I mean it's totally and utterly British to the core.
But now Ralph Lauren's exporting that back to us.
Coals to Newcastle.
Car parts to Detroit, as they say over there.
Is that what they say?
For years, Wimbledon officials wore ill-fitting green and purple. Designer, unknown.
They're very difficult colours to wear. They're kind of, you know, they're sort of soggy, they weigh you down, they don't look crisp.
Drain the colour from your face.
Yes, totally. And they don't look, you know, all that smart.
Whereas dark blue with a nice white contrast can suit any colouring, really.
Totally, it suits anybody, and instantly, you know, it looks authoritative.
Do you think it's a good change?
Yeah, of course. I think a bit of fashion does good to the All England Club, yeah.
Happy as well. Count how many times the line judges call their new outfits lovely.
I think it's lovely. It's lovely to have a change from the old uniform.
It's lovely. It's very comfortable. I mean, the first thing that strikes me is when you touch it for the first time. It just feels, it's like cream in your hands.
We have to try to keep the eyes on the court and not on the linesmen.
Do you think you might be tempted just to look at the lovely blazer that the umpire is wearing rather than concentrate?
I think I can stick the eyes to the ball, yes.
While the officials enjoy their makeover, the players have been warned for the umpteenth time. Appear on court dressed in a manner deemed unsuitable by the committee, and you're out.
Tennis needs a little bit, you know, of a lift every now and again. And I think it's quite nice to see a bit of tan cleavage. It's quite cute to see frilly knickers. I mean, we saw them in the 20s and 30s. I don't think that hurts, as long as it's white.
Andre Agassi boycotted Wimbledon for 3 years because he couldn't bear to ditch the garish threads. He eventually caved in and won here in '92, wearing all white. But he still looked like Farrah Fawcett from the neck up.
The interesting thing, I think, with Wimbledon is that balance between tradition and innovation. And I think if we say we'll stay with tradition for the sake of it, we'll fall behind. We'll be old-fashioned.
But tell me, you're never going to go to artificial grass.
No, I think there are some things that are sacrosanct.
Umpires' uniforms weren't sacrosanct, and neither are the regular rain delays.
What a pity this is.
They're building a roof over centre court that will be ready in time for Wimbledon 2009. There's been a drought here in London these past few weeks, but this morning as the tournament began, it poured. For Nightline, I'm Nick Watt at Wimbledon.
Forecast at Wimbledon for tomorrow, cloudy with a chance of drizzle. Fingers crossed for no rain.